The old library stood on a hill, shrouded in mist. Locals whispered of books that held ancient evils. Some who dared to enter were never seen again. One stormy night, thunder echoed through the town. Lightning flashed, illuminating the library's silhouette. Inside, dust swirled in the musty air. Cobwebs clung to forgotten shelves. The silence was broken only by the creaking of the old building. The library was a labyrinth of forgotten lore. Each book held secrets, some best left buried. For those brave enough, the library offered a gateway to the unknown. It was a place where curiosity could lead to either enlightenment or despair. Only the foolish or the desperate dared to enter its haunted halls. Emma was different. She wasn't afraid of the stories. She was drawn to them. Emma had a thirst for knowledge that led her to the most unusual places. The old library was no exception.
I was curious. I wanted to see for myself if the stories were true.
One afternoon, Emma decided to explore. She walked up the hill towards the library, the wind whipping around her. Emma pushed open the heavy oak doors, the scent of decay filling her nostrils.
I walked down the aisles, my fingers trailing along the spines of the books. I felt a sense of excitement, surrounded by history and mystery.
She stopped at a shelf tucked away in a dark corner, filled with ancient-looking books. One book in particular caught her eye. It was smaller than the others, bound in black leather with no title.
I reached out and took it from the shelf. The book felt cold in her hands.
The book was heavier than it looked. Emma traced the strange symbols on the cover.
I knew I shouldn't open the book, but I couldn't resist.
She sat down at a dusty table and opened the book. The pages were yellowed and brittle, covered in strange writing. Emma didn't recognize the language. The letters seemed to writhe and shift on the page.
I began to read aloud. The words felt strange in my mouth.
The air grew cold, and the shadows in the library seemed to deepen. Emma's heart pounded in her chest. She couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. The book pulsed with a faint heat, whispering to her. Emma couldn't stop reading. She was trapped.
The writing seemed to have changed. It now resembled something I could almost understand.
It was an incantation of some sort.
Section 4, the release.
Emma's finger traced the words on the page. She whispered the incantation. The air crackled with energy, and the book grew hot in her hands.
Ah!
Emma ran until she was out of breath, hiding behind a bookshelf. She could hear the creature moving around her, its claws scraping against the bookshelves.
You cannot hide from me. I'm everywhere.
Emma peeked out from behind the bookshelf, seeing the creature's shadow moving in the darkness. It was circling her. Emma knew she couldn't escape. She was trapped in a nightmare. The library had become her prison. The creature's laughter echoed through the stacks, toying with her. Emma closed her eyes and waited for the inevitable.
Section 6, the price of curiosity.
The creature appeared before her, its eyes glowing with malevolent glee. It reached out, its claws inches from her face. Emma closed her eyes and braced for the end, but it never came. Emma opened her eyes. The creature was gone. She stood up, her legs shaking. The library was silent. The only sound was the beating of her own heart. Emma had escaped, but she knew it was only a matter of time. The creature would find her again. It would never stop hunting her. Emma had unleashed a terror she couldn't control. The book's curse was real, and now she was paying the price. Emma left the library and ran into the night, not knowing where she was going, but she knew she could never go back. The library would forever be a place of horror for her. Emma was forever changed, haunted by the memory of the creature. She knew that her curiosity had come at a terrible cost. The curse of the book was hers to bear.